Hello, Heather.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm hot, but good. I mean, no meaning hot. Maybe I am, but it's just so freaking hot outside. It's so good. And now finally we meet because I've just been so eager to have you around, and you have such a lovely energy and you know so much. When I meet with the kids at one point, I just met the four-legged one.
Totally.
So
Meatball.
cute. It's a hairy meatball.
Oh yeah, he's a
So
he's
sweet.
yes, he's a
So
sweetie.
Heather, with you Heather Loomis, and I would like if you can share a little bit about you.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll start from the beginning. I'm here in Jackson Hole right now, which is where we live. I live with my husband and my two children, a boy and a
Mhm.
girl. And my entire life has been dedicated to a few things: family, friends, finance, adventure, and care for the natural environment. If I were to kind of sum up the big themes of my life, and every day, in one sense or another, I get to experience all of those things.
Yeah, you covered so many good places. I'm all about finances. I'm quite ignorant about it or just naive. I don't know. I do really well, but it's not something I understand. I know my husband is very good. For me, finances so far is like real estate. I like real estate.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes. Well, I mean, real estate is a form of finance which is very
mm,
tangible, which I think makes a lot of people comfortable, including myself,
mhm,
because you own it, you could visit the physical property, you understand how it increases in worth over time or
mhm,
doesn't, depending upon the circumstances. And
mhm,
so I think it's like for many people, it's a good gateway into finance. The problem is right now is that real estate purchases have become somewhat unattainable for the average person, just given
mm,
how expensive real estate has become, how expensive homes have become. But it's
mm,
interesting that people will gravitate towards real estate over the stock market, certainly the bond
mm,
market, and other markets, which have a better rate of return over the long run, are
mm,
far easier to get into, are far more liquid. Yet for some reason, I think that there is a block. And I don't
yeah,
think the block is education because, you could any day just look up how to invest your money. You could have
yeah.
ChatGPT send it to you on a simplified basis every morning, right? You could do it.
I don't
But there
even
is
use
something
that.
that I feel like there's like an invisible barrier for most people and
Okay,
finances.
I see. I have both, but I'm not verse on the market. My husband is the one. Him and this advisor, they do all that. I like real estate because more than invisible line is like I love to create spaces. I
Yes.
really like that. And so for me, is to have this certain spaces when I come to LA, when I'm in Santa Fe or up in the mountains. I like that feeling of having my space set up. And being that I was 52 years in the film industry, they contribute a lot to 401k. And
Hmm.
uh, so all of that was done without me even
Well,
having to know. Is the
yeah,
papa?
the puppy's starting to eat
Yeah.
the walls. I had to tell him
Yeah.
no. Keep going.
Yeah. So that kind of was set up for me, and we own a company for film and TV that is a catering company. So that uh has contribution to that too yearly. I don't follow much of it, and I understand that the best stock market, because I love Warren Buffett. He's so funny. And it's funny that passed away, I just love
Charlie Munger.
It's
I
terrible.
was I was at lunch with Charlie Munger 3 days before he died.
Oh Lord, I love the man. He was just a trip. And to be known that they own Coca-Cola and the weirdest things. I mean, I love them, and I know that you have to be very patient because it's a little bit like the bamboo, and the bamboo grows like this. You can plant the seed of a bamboo, and it will take maybe 5 years at least to show a sprout. But when
Mm,
it goes up, it can go up to 7 feet in a year. So a little bit,
wow.
I see that the markets are a bit like that because people want to move and they get scared and they get
Right.
and all that. I just leave it alone. I don't know, whatever.
I think that is most certainly the right thing to do, because it's very interesting. They did a study, one investment firm did a study on who manages their money the best. And,
Mhm.
people were assuming, okay, well, it's probably people who are investment managers. It's probably people in the financial industry. It's probably people with college degrees, whatever it was, whatever assumptions they were making. No, the people with the best performance in their investment accounts were people who had deceased and simply let their account was just left. And so what that meant was that it was just put into stocks or a stock indice and just
Yeah,
let to run over the long run. So
right.
it's like this very poignant example of the best thing to do sometimes in finance is just to let it run. Like when you see the long-term graphs of the stock
Yeah.
market,
Hmm.
the long-term graphs of the S&P 500, they just over time they move in an upward channel. But if you zoom in on any particular period, one day it's up, one day it's down, one day it's up big, one day it's down a little bit, one day it's down a lot. You can't get so focused on the day-to-day machinations of what's going on in the stock market that you lose the broader picture, which
Yeah.
is that the stock market has one job, and it's to basically express the ingenuity of the American people. Every company
Mhm.
is an expression of everyone who works for it, and their only job is to effectively make money for the company. Do you mind hanging on 1 second? I just need to put my puppy out. He's just eating something.
Oh, yes.
Could I pause? I'm so sorry. He's going to be the death of me. Meatball?
Meatball. And get it.
I
He's
know
a
he is.
meatball, but he's long hair, so it's a hairy meatball.
He's a hairy meatball. They're right back.
He's so cute, but nevertheless, we're talking puppy.
Eating things.
So we're gonna do puppy, mommy, puppy, and Heather will be back in a second to to share with us, right? Because I am basically clueless. I don't do the work for myself, it gets done. And also, I understand it's a very patient process. That
Yes.
right. And it's like brilliant what you do because, most people don't even know, Heather, how money have changed.
Right.
What is $100,000 now, probably 40 years ago was $10. I mean, it's like
Mm-hmm.
money have changed in such a way, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. It's a natural impact of inflation. And so if you basically have a certain amount of money, which today you're like, oh, I have, let's say, $100,000, $1 million, and say to yourself, I could live on this. I could live on this for the rest of my life. Well, you're not factoring in most likely
Mm.
the potential reality that life in 10 years, in 5 years, in 1 year will be more expensive. And that $100,000 of that 1 million will not take you as far. And so that's just kind of the natural progression of inflation within an economic system, where prices just continually rise over time. And at some points they rise more than others. And we're in a period of time where they're rising at a rate which is above,
Yeah.
above that our central banks feel comfortable.
Yeah, I get that. And I've seen it because I'm in a part of my life where in the States, probably other countries, but I never experienced that in Chile or other countries I lived before. I got to a point of a number
Hmm.
for my years that I have lived. So everything is so different. Now it's like you need to take money out because the time of your life, you need to get money out, I guess, is to be taxed or something like that, because after 70 something, you have to do that. And I didn't know that, but our advisor said it's about this year, you're going to have to move money out. And
Yeah,
now, okay,
right,
I'll do
right.
something fun with it.
Yeah,
Or
yep,
you can help me do something more fun, because I
totally.
really don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? But I know that those things happen. So how did that goes from the social security money to investment to 401ks? Because I have a lot of clients for you in the film industry.
Mhm.
People gets all this, and a lot of people that I know in the industry are retiring right now because
Right,
the film industry is very slow, changed completely like everything else. Most of the studios are out of the country, shooting out of the country, and so people decided, well, it's not really work. We're at a 20% filming in the U.S. Period.
right.
And we have a lot of people that, in the makeup and hair union, it was like, I think here alone was like 27,000 members that right now, not even 29% are employed, because the 29 is the whole the country. So many people are wanting to retire and taking their 401ks out, which in the big scale is not great, but it's what it is. So I can refer you a bunch of people, because most people don't know what to do. What would you suggest, Heather, that people does?
Well, and it's funny because I'm literally right before I sat down with you, I was writing this article. I write a weekly Substack, and I've just
Mm,
started doing it because I finally am at a place where I have the time and the peace of mind to do this, but effectively just answering some of these questions on a weekly basis. So what I am writing about today and it's called Here's the Thing with Heather is the Substack name. But what I'm writing about today is the first step that you should take is having a binder, putting together a binder. It doesn't need to be a physical binder, but just a binder cataloging your financial life. Starting with, do I have a plan for my death? Do I have a will? Better yet, I have met very few people who would be better off with a will than with
mm,
a trust. Do I have a living revocable trust that avoids my assets going into probate upon my death? These are
mm,
the big structural things you want in place because you have exchanged your very life, your very lifeblood for money,
yeah,
your entire life, right? For most of your working life. Whether you enjoy it or not is a totally separate thing, but it's transactional. You work, you get money, you exchange life for money. So you almost have to, in my opinion, honor that by taking
yeah,
care of it, even when it's not fun, even thinking about things like when I die, what is going to happen. So
right.
in this binder, the first thing to have is just what is my plan? Do I have a will? Do I have a trust? And if
Mm,
so, what sits inside that? Okay, then we get into the next layer. Do you have insurance? Do you
mm,
have investment assets? And those are stock market, bond market, houses. Do you have things of value that are kind of in the collectibles range? Do you have fine art, classic cars,
mm,
expensive watches, anything that could
mm,
be an asset. And the key here is just to basically organize that entire financial picture first. Not saying anything about what you need to do. Do you need to become an expert? No. Simply step one is just organization of this. Then, once you have this picture, you could see where you are light. Within your asset bucket, do you have a retirement account? If you
Mm-hmm.
are young, it would behoove you to put money into that because it generally compounds tax free. And that compounding is so incredibly powerful. If you have retirement assets but don't have other investment assets, it begs the question, what am I spending my money on? Do I need that $100 purchase of XYZ, from
Yeah,
do I need that dress? If
yeah,
not, can I invest that money into a stock
yeah,
index, which has traditionally grown at 10% per annum? And so it's really just organizing yourself first, like actually organizing yourself, making sure everything is in one place. This will very much help you if you are ever in a time at which you need it or
yeah,
your family needs it. But it also really points out holes. Um, and then I think from there, you could take the next step of filling in some of those holes. Do I want insurance? Do I want retirement
mm,
assets? Do I want to start investing? And really asking yourselves these questions. Also, where is my cash? Is my cash just sitting in a bank account? Okay, well, if that's the case, do you know that you could be putting your money into a money market fund?
mm,
Where you don't earn something like 0% interest, you earn something closer to 3.5%, and you
mm-hmm.
could still typically get your money out at the end of every day. And so things like that,
Right.
I think just an inventory is really important. And and I'm sorry to keep talking, I'm just very
No,
passionate.
no, 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 no. It's perfect because I don't know if I'm gonna ask will take that got nothing. So no, you gotta go. No, 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 you good. Very good. Very
And
good. Because I
you
went
mentioned at
check.
the beginning, though, and I wanted to come back to this, that your husband manages all the financial assets. And I think that there is this, well, I think that there is this avoidance, and I've seen it more specifically with women, that they defer a lot of the financial decisions to men.
Mm,
And the problem is that it is much easier to get a handle on your financial picture together with your spouse on a Tuesday over coffee than it is in an emergency situation, whether that
mm-hmm,
be, God forbid, an untimely death, an unexpected divorce, whatever it
mm-hmm,
is at least important to review with your spouse, with him or her, that binder, just where everything
mm,
is. Who are the
mm,
contacts? What is
yeah,
the strategy? Just to make sure that it's not to say that everyone needs to go from a successful business career like you have running a company to becoming a financial expert. That's not the first step. First step is just actually knowing what you have and
yeah,
why.
yeah. And this the advisor guy always goes over, and I have my own thing going on
Yep.
at places because I like nesting. And I
Yep.
grew up with zero money in the Peruvian Andes and the Amazon. Never saw money until I was 13. So my take on money is a real trippy thing. It very
Yes.
much is. And yeah, and I get it. I get exactly, thank God I know all that because I follow those two. They were so funny. And I will get with you from my own thing too. What's the difference? Because I remember taking many courses with Susie Orman many years
Yeah.
ago about, and I follow, believe it or not, I did some courses from the Learning Annex with the man that is the president now about business, believe it or not. They were free too. It was very
Yeah.
interesting. In any case, what's the difference on the living trust and also what you call the other one?
The will?
Yeah, because most people don't know. I think I know something about it, but most people don't know.
Yes. So in its most basic form, and again, I have to always say, since I'm registered with the Securities Exchange Commission, I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice, but I will tell you what I know. A will go through probate. It will go through the courts. And what people don't know is that that process when you die isn't like a week long. It could take years for your heirs to get money. It
Yeah.
can also cost money. It can cost sometimes 10 to 15% of your estate. And so the more elegant way for most people is to set up a living trust, a revocable living trust, where you can make changes over your lifetime. You have a child, you get a divorce, you start a new company. All these things could be changed and edited over your lifetime. But when you have that living trust, your wishes are more solidified. Your assets do not go through probate. It costs a little bit of money to set this up. And when I say a little bit, like I think it's in the $1,000 to $3,000 range. But
Okay.
the amount that you could save on the back end, not putting
Yeah.
your loved ones or the recipients of your money after your death through this onerous court process is most likely worth it. And it outlines your wishes very specifically in a way that cannot easily be broken.
Mm.
This is a way also I have seen very wealthy families protect their children's assets in a marriage, because trust assets tend to be, and again, you would have to talk to your trust, your legal team, but it's a way to protect assets which are coming into a marriage, which they wouldn't want a spouse to be able to access in the event of divorce.
Oh,
So it just is almost like think of it as like a much safer legal structure. It's like a big,
yeah.
sturdy plastic box around your assets, which kind of no one could get into. Maybe plastic's not the word. I
Yeah.
don't know. Steel box.
No, I knew all this and I have to redo the one. My take is if we both go, uh, my daughter already has, I gave her, and it was clear here
Yep.
is what is coming from this. Because I've seen some really ugly stuff. My sister, oof. You know, I'm onto charity.
Yes. And
Yeah,
even
number one. Yeah, number one is the my friend Jane Goodall. She
oh,
just passed last year. I
yes,
just did a
yes.
beautiful podcast with Bill, her cinematographer. So I got that. I got, the Ocean Conservancy. I have things now. If I go first, then my husband, and he's incredible. He goes, babe, you do whatever you want, that I am taken care of. I don't need you to have to think that you need to cut off your charity stuff or whatever. The properties are all set up, in a different way. But uh, that is so important for people to understand the difference and what you can do. Also, I like investing in things that they don't damage the planet. So, and
Yes, and
yeah,
that's a harder one, right? Like I think that is in the public stock market because believe me, I have focused on this a lot
mm,
as a conservationist and
yeah,
environmentalist since as
yeah,
far back as I could remember.
yeah,
When you become a public company, there is this kind of contract you make with your shareholders that you are going to act in their best interest. And the
Mm,
best interest of somebody who is investing into you is to make as much money as possible. And those fall directly at odds with the
mm,
environment, right? Because
mm.
what would be the best for the environment? If we all wore one t-shirt, one pair of pants, had one sweater, and one pair of shoes. And when those were completely threadbare and worn out, we bought another one, a used one, right?
Yeah,
What would happen then is that there would be tons of companies that would go out of business. The shipping companies would go out of business. The domestic shipping companies, the international shipping companies, the clothing manufacturers. There's this all of a sudden, there's huge, Target would go out of business, Walmart would go out of business because you would shrink it. And so it's almost like our natural world
yeah,
is in some ways at odds with the process of making money. Think about everything people do to make money. There are so few professions where you are not creating some level of waste, some level of environmental impact. And
I
there are
know.
people who have done it better than others, like
Yeah,
Yvonne and Melinda Chenard and Chris Tompkins, who are
yeah,
people who I hold in the highest respect. They have created a clothing company, Patagonia, that operated under the most
yeah,
strict ethical
yeah,
and environmental standards. And
yeah,
in fact, they became very recently a company where all their corporate profitability goes back to the planet in the form of charitable donations
yeah,
for producing something that is done in about as ethical a manner as possible. But now, if that were a public stock, it would not be a highly valued public stock because it would not grow every year because the whole point
right,
is not to grow every year. It's to produce
yeah.
the same amount. And so yes, you are right. I was speaking to someone, a brilliant woman, at one of my kids' Taekwondo class last week, and she said, "I have known about just about every trend, before it came out." She goes, "Because I read the World Economic Forum reports.
Mm,
I think, you could kind of once you read and think you can, and I know you can." Kind of see where things are going in the future, right? But because of her ethics, because the types of companies that you would invest into were ethically at odds with her, I would say, ethical compass, whatever it is, her makeup, she never invested into any of them. The only thing she felt comfortable with was gold, which has done very well.
mm,
But even if you look into gold itself and how it's extracted, I mean,
right.
everything becomes a little messy.
Mm. I know. I know. I've been down that road since I was, after 13, my mother has remarried and he was a diplomat and amazing man and work. And, I was exposed to the UN and all that. And I knew the actual truth of what's really going on because the public really doesn't know. I became a simultaneous translator for United Nations in Russian of all languages.
Wow.
Yeah, and I learn a lot, and I see everything. Growing up in the Amazon, uh, for me was just brutal. All the mining, people don't understand what happens with tin, with glass.
Yeah,
It just, and I'm serious conservationist. I've been
right.
my entire, and that's the deal that, in the company that we have, I'm in charge of the biodiversity. I went to Harvard to understand more what the legalities of biodiversity. So I got certified there. And now, thank God, the most of the studios are going that route.
Good.
So I have to report every week how much the compost, all the certified stuff that we use. We don't use plastic, we don't use tin. All the earths come from upstate California, where they're all, done in containers, but glass container. That we keep everything. It's very, line cut fish. I wish the cow part, but hey,
Yeah.
And some of the studios now they have shortened it to a couple times a week or more, very sustainable. We're working with Disney right now, and they're really good at that. We plant trees every week. I plant
Wow.
my own, but for the shows, every week goes 500 trees get planted. That is a mission that we don't let down. Feed America, and every single day is then approved by the studio places where they can come and pick up food every day.
That's really beautiful.
So
I
we
wish more
try.
people would operate like you do.
It's a matter, and this is why you hear in many ways, I love you and I think you're incredible. And what you've been through is more incredible. Whoa, that we need to work on that one.
Yes.
Um, I think, Heather, the biggest pandemic is ignorance.
Mm, yes.
Because what you don't know, you
Right.
don't do nothing about it. What,
Right.
knowing. That's why my podcast, because I want to empower people from meditation to you, to
Right.
Lynn with her work, uh,
Exactly.
that people knows and has choices, really, really knowledgeable choices like you that they can contact you and go, wow, you know what? This is an eye opener. What can I do? How can I, see my future and be less fearful about it? Because the story is, to me, watching this country since I was young with my dad and all that, this place is going to stay level at one point or the other. Everything changes. People needs to pivot.
Yes.
We need to reinvent right now, regardless if it's a gardener or if it's who knows, Amazon or whatever else. We gotta reinvent. It got all that world is dead, and people like you have that. Not only have the vision, and I know you have incredible gut feeling, but you know way ahead. Yeah.
That's it. And I completely agree with
Yeah.
you. I do feel the world is shifting right now. I feel like we have been totally
Mm.
oversaturated. Like the pendulum has swung way too far. Like we are now suffocating under our belongings. You're suffocating under debt. You're suffocating under a lack of freedom. And what people are going to begin to understand is all of these things they have been accumulating have not been to their net benefit. They have been to their harm. And they have been harming their prospects for long-term freedom. If you have just a place chocked to the gills with stuff, you are less likely to move. Just meanwhile, it's
Right.
just it's less freedom. You have
Yeah.
less money to make choices into your future. You feel like your worth is somehow connected to these things when your worth is so incredibly separate. It has nothing to do with it. So in practically every form of this,
Mhm.
the current lifestyle of more, more, more is not just making us, it's making us dependent, it's making us sick, and it's stealing our freedom. And
It's
so
making it less, less, less instead
exactly.
of more,
More,
more.
more, more equals less, less, less. You're
Mm.
exactly right.
Mm.
And so like, could you imagine coming from another planet and being like, we exchange this precious life that we have on Earth with all of this majesty, with all this wonder, to
Mm.
sit in an office at a computer every single day like this, so that we could buy this little purse? You know what? That's crazy. Like, it's almost if you were reading a children's novel, this would be the part where you told your children, like, this is not real, you know?
I always think on that little movie Wally.
Yeah.
Wally said it very clear there.
Yeah.
The little robot, but it was nothing left,
Right.
nothing left of
Yeah.
all that. And I think, that of trying to fit in, that of trying to belong has
Hmm.
quite a bit of, quite a bit to do with it.
Yes.
I grew up with very tribal, very community oriented. And then when I moved back, my mother, after 13 years, whatever, we were very communal. We ate together. It was cooked at home. We went to the farmers markets all the time. Whatever we bought, never saw a can. I never had drunk. Never have drunk a soda ever.
You have never drank a soda ever?
No, because it was a really weird thing to me. What isn't that? It's a
Yeah.
metal thing with fluid that
Right.
is never.
Wow.
But the fact that doing that, I think it has a lot to do with the breakup of that community, that family glow,
Yes.
a lot to do because when you have that, you don't really need much.
100%. They did this. I don't
Mm,
know if you've ever seen this documentary called Happy, and they studied the people who were happiest on earth.
mm,
And I think one of them, it was in one of the Nordic countries, where they were happiest when they lived like it was almost like I'm remembering it was like this big apartment building where all your friends or family would live in it. And so like one night a month you would cook for 60 people, right? Like it would take you a good portion of the day. But then
mm,
every other day of the month you wouldn't have to cook because someone else did. And every night, if you wanted to just have a glass of wine with your husband, one person would be in charge of watching the kids, or, maybe not one, five people would. So that it's just like this, exactly as you say, this community
yeah.
where now we're spending even more of our lifeblood, buying packaged food, processed food, just so that because we don't have time to cook, because we don't have the time,
Yeah.
because we have to do it every night. Then we have to take care of the kids. Then we need a
Mm,
job to pay for the money to, do all these
mm,
things that a community used to give to you. That's
mm,
another thing that I see happening in the future is that all these houses which are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and people are getting lonelier and lonelier and lonelier. Like you could go back to something smaller that
mm.
actually feels more like a home. My son, actually, we
Yeah.
bought a apartment here in Jackson to rent out to a family like in need in perpetuity, so they would never have housing insecurity while they were
Mhm,
here. um and it's a small compact two-bedroom apartment, but perfect for their family. And my son went in at the day we closed because we were just giving them the keys, and
mhm.
he was like, I would want to live here, I love it here, and it just goes to show, like, I think people, like to our animal roots, like you kind of like a little bit of a den, something
Yeah.
cozy with your
Yeah.
family. Um, and
So
we've done really
important.
the opposite. And again, it destroys the environment. You're having these big homes, which you have to heat, which you have to
I
cool, which you
know.
have to furnish.
I know. I
And I mean, I'm
know.
guilty of it too. I'm not saying that I'm immune to this and I'm like living in a biodynamic hut, but I mean, I'd
I
like
just
to,
pitched 10 to that. That's it.
but I do, like, if you were to say, where do I see the future going? Like in my most promising view, it's going
Yeah.
back to that?
Yeah. Me too. I
Yeah.
see it every day, every time. And I told Steve, I said, we are gonna have we ordered something Lumetti is it's a power, a generator.
Yeah.
Uh with the solar and the house, just limiting things to we very uh, small amount of anything, really. We are.
Yeah.
This house is 40 years old. I raised my daughter here, and she's married now, moved on. But I didn't have that mentality of the big, and I see in the most beautiful up in Angel Fire, this beautiful place, this huge mansions of like insane amount of rooms, all the trees cut across because they want the view. And I remember the guy that saw the person that was selling us our place. She said, "Oh, and you can cut the trees." I said, "If you mention tree cutting, we are not working together."
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
For the view, I say, if I want view, I get in my car and I drive and I get the view.
Yeah.
But this is sacred to me. And Heather, 80% of the year, these humongous mausoleums are alone. Now,
Alone. Oh yeah.
nobody's there.
No,
Nobody's there.
yeah, we see that in Jackson, or I live in Jackson, Wyoming. We see that too. It's there, yeah, it's a cold feeling. And I think that I mean, I just think about it. I just think about this and it's just not at the end of the day what makes people happy, all of these
No,
things. And
no.
and I think actually when people don't feel happy, they solve it by continuing this kind of vicious cycle which
Yeah,
we're in, then they
yeah.
they they placate it by buying something more, acting
It's
out
an
in some way.
emptiness there that is very profound. It's a big emptiness trying to, and now I'm in clinical hypnotherapy. I'm not going to do clinical. I did before with couples and such, but I really appreciate to see how to transform the brain. I work with suicidal kids and children
Yeah,
that they're in the hands of the government or in foster, and
right,
also veterans, because they're
right.
very, very abandoned. And with that being said, just getting these pieces that I can assist them to reinstate these places. And I always, with these kids, I give them their sacred place, and I call them
Right.
the room of the mind, where they can go and they can create, when they
Right.
can go and have what we all missing now. I see mothers. The other day, I met this woman that the baby was less than a month, and she put it in a daycare, and I said, "So the baby doesn't nurse?" She goes, "Oh no, I don't have time for that."
Is that because she worked or because I understand if people are on the, you know,
I run into something with other women. It's called a pump.
yeah. Um,
You don't. It's so important. The endorphins, the connection,
I
the
know.
mother's milk. It's just life. The immune system
Oh,
later. It's so much to it. I had a woman, a friend that I knew, she passed away, Candice Pert. It's an amazing book if you ever want to see Molecules of Emotion. And
oh,
she did so much experiment, and she saw the little monkeys that they were not with mothers, how the nervous system, how so many wrong things happen later on, even the immune system for one, the nervous system for others, and the deep feeling of isolation and
yes,
the wrong strive. And it's a lot of what you just spoke about it. They're looking everywhere else because
for
they never
something
really did
that can
belong
comfort.
anywhere.
Well, I mean, and that's and God bless them. I mean, they can't control how they were raised, but that's why what you're doing is so beautiful, like giving those people, who feel that they don't that that they don't that there is a lack, I mean, people
Mm,
suicidal thoughts would be at the very kind of end of that extreme,
mm.
but it's just all that lack. Yes, and you are speaking to someone who did breastfeed their child till she was 3 years old, so I
Right.
very much agree with you. My mom was like, cut it out now. um
I did too, and she bit me, and I was bleeding everywhere. And I'm like, "Ooh, I think we're gonna pump now."
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
no, but I
that
mean,
little carnivore.
the girl didn't get sick. I mean, she moved when she was barely 2 years old to Jackson, Wyoming from California. And she went through the roughest winter, where it was like, -20. It snowed from October through May.
Wow.
and she was, so we're inside a lot, it was too cold for a little dumpling, to go out too much. And she was like a woman of steel. She did not get sick, and so
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with the
Yeah.
connection. I agree with the
Yeah.
spiritual, there is, if you did not, since you cannot control how you were raised, right? You are in many
Yeah.
situations born into whatever you're born into, a country of origin, a place of origin, a family of origin. You can't control your past per se, but the one thing you can control, or you could try to, and it really experiment in a lot of different ways, is your mind, because that could reshape your body and your stressors,
Yeah.
as you know, through hypnosis. Um,
Everything.
and I think that that's something I discovered only too late in my life, no, never too late. But I will say I am envious of this generation, the young
Mm.
children right now, because they have awareness of it from a very early age, whether or not they want to
Yeah.
adopt it. Like my son knows the power, because I tell him all the time, of believing something is going to be true, of believing in positivity and watching how that changes the trajectory of the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. Yeah. They're brand new. A lot of people said, "Oh, I'm so concerned about their future." They being born in a time that they're right on for it, and also, they have, I believe, in past lives they have had the experience. We have a contrast that they don't have. When I grew up, I mean, when I was born 1947, for crying out loud, things were way different,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't have that contrast that the little ones have now, where, oh, everything is possible. I just grab a thing and I
Yeah.
can, yeah. And so, yeah. But what would you leave us with? Because we're gonna put all your information in the links and all their contacts, so people can reach out to you. And I'm gonna refer them directly, the film industry ones that they already have asked me, and like they're gonna retire and they don't know what the hell to do. The
Yeah.
problem was they never saved. Most of the industry people don't save.
No.
They buy things that they never use because they're always working. My short day was 14 hours. So they're like, woo, they're feeling good. They got a big
Right.
movie. They're 5, 6 grand a week. They're like, okay, they're usually supporting somebody or whatever, and they didn't think. But now that they're going to get out, I think you can really help them out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the message to leave is that I understand that it is daunting. Um, And do not feel bad about that, because practically everything about the financial industry has been
Yeah.
designed to exclude, not to include. But what
Mm,
I will say is that the first step is simply detailing everything that you have. And the second step is understanding that it is a lot easier than they make you think. It is making
mm,
sure your cash earns something. It is making sure your investments are in diversified assets, which grow slowly over time. And it is giving them that time to grow, and I think that if you just start and say, I am not going to conquer it all today, but I am not going to allow it to conquer me, that's
right.
the first step. Like, I promise you, it'll become more and more and more approachable. But do not let this very thing that you have sacrificed your precious, beautiful life for, money, don't let it control you. You control it. It's like
Right.
um,
Yeah.
and don't treat it carelessly. Like everything it carries, like there is in my mind, and this is a little bit spiritual, but like protect your money like you would your
Mm,
child, like you would your puppy, like
yeah.
protect it, care for it. Don't be careless with it. Don't spend it on something that just breaks. And honor that very life you exchanged for it in a way that you do stuff that truly makes you happier, makes you healthier, makes you experience more of the like total arc of this life.
Hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, because I see it this way. I see whatever it is that I cannot take with me when I pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really not all that necessary. And it's great to buy things that they've been used already. I love this company that they compost um, styrofoam. They turn
Yeah.
it into this really lovely, it's called Techie.
Mhm.
And I get them in and eBay used.
Yeah. I think that that is the key. There is absolutely no, I mean, uh,
Secondhand, yeah.
you can't convince me that it's not better to buy things secondhand. It just is.
It
It's
is
better
just
for the earth.
fun.
It's better for your wallet. I feel
Yeah.
better about it. I have those purchases in my closet that I spent full price for and top dollar, and they just stare at me in my closet and taunt me. I'm like, I'm throwing you out. I don't like you.
Well, I love you. Thank you, Heather. And to be
Yeah,
continued sometime, I don't know if you'll be open to maybe we do a live with question with people
sure.
so they can ask you stuff and then sign up with you and work with you because it's a little more in depth than just a podcast, but
A
it's a
hundred
start.
percent. And it's very specific to each person. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Thank
And it's a
you.
start somewhere. I love you. Thank you so much. Let's
Thank
see
you.
when I stop this. Oh, before I forget, subscribe and like if you do. I mean, it help us in the world of YouTube. They like that. I always forget to say it.
You need to. You need to. Thank you.
Mama, that was genius. She's so amazing.
Oh,
Oh
I'm
my God. And it was a lot of reminders. And I have some cash that I didn't want to put out there. Uh, I have some stats that I would love to talk to you about and see what we can do and all that.
anytime, my
I'm
friend.
78 in real life.
You mean you look, I don't know what you do, but it's probably not drinking soda your whole life. Wait, do you care if I bring my little doggy in? I've heard him scratching. Could I
Yeah,
come bring
yeah,
him in?
yeah. No,
Hang
go
on.
ahead. Yeah.
Let me just go get him. He's very angry with me. Meatball, come back. I'm sorry, Meatball. Meatball. Okay, he doesn't want to come in. He's angry at me now, but whatever.
I know I have two, and the little
He's
one,
like sitting in the
and
laundry room,
yeah,
like
and the little one goes,
totally.
"Come
I
on,
know.
Granny, come on," and it's like,
Yeah,
no, no,
I know.
yeah,
It's
that's right.
hysterical. I'm like,
Well,
okay, well,
that's
if you want to
that.
be like that, then be like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, because I at this point I don't have time for even the puppy to be telling me,
Totally.
you know,
They're crazy. I got
yeah,
enough things to do. But anyhow, I
yeah.
will help you at any time.
Yeah, that's great. And also, I think it's important to go over with the babies, with the little ones. I
Yeah.
don't know
Oh,
how
yeah.
the hell did you survive that one.
Oh, I know. Let's do that. Yeah, let's find like I feel like things are finally calming down. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You know your timing, and also it's always divine timing, right? That it's we think we know, but it's not in alignment. Like Lynn was saying, no, but I need to get that, and I said it's not gonna work. She's like, no, 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 but I'm doing it and I have to. And I said, Lynn, it's not going to work right
is that
now.
right?
It's not going to work. And if you keep going, your body's going to stop you because you need to chaling chalong for now.
Do you have a
But
feather in your hair? It's so pretty.
oh, yeah, I have. I have 2 or 3. I don't know how many he put in. They are rooster feathers for fishing.
Oh, so cool.
They've been there 3 years. You can shower with the things. You can sleep with them.
And brush your hair?
Oh
Brush?
yeah, it's a hell of a feather.
Whoa,
Yeah.
I want one of those.
In Amazon, I'll send you the link. You buy them, and then anybody that does extensions or whatever, they have these little bonds or the little beads, itty bitty beads that you go with a flat iron. You go boop, and you put them
Whoa.
in.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna do that. That's so cool. But it looks so good with your hair color because it's like really pretty with your hair color. Mine would need to be like a darker. Anyhow.
they have all kinds.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they have all kinds. Well, love you. Thank you. Mwah.
You're the best. And let me know. I'm happy to do
Yeah,
anything more with
you
you.
tell me, and because twice I did the message and I didn't send it. I'm like, really, Isabel, how much of that do you do? Anyway,
Anytime I'll work with you on the kids and we can do any more
yeah,
podcasts or whatever helps
yeah.
you. I am
Let's do
here.
it. And you, because these people don't know
Yeah.
dingy about finance anything, because they
Yeah.
just don't. And it's
Totally.
a lot of people retiring. We can
Yes.
even put a thing in the makeup magazine where everybody.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
You're the
Love
best.
you.
Thank you,
Big hug.
Isabel.
Bye,
Okay.
honey.
Good to
Bye.
meet you.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Finally, yeah, because she was a little late.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Because I thought we were going to eat at the samosa. It's okay. Yeah.
Because I had that, yeah, 2 days ago.
Okay. All righty. Okay.